this is Dr. Parikh. So another big assignment that we'll work on is the article discussion leader. So each of you will, you can work individually or in pairs, is my leaning. If you have a good reason to do a group, you can reach out to me, but one or two I think is where I would prefer this to be. So first you will pick a topic that's related to interpersonal relationships, and find a peer-reviewed article. And I have videos to help you do that if that's something that's new for you. You'll pick a presentation time, and I should probably link in here, actually, just because I want to have lots of links. Yeah, I'm gonna copy this and link it here, just because I want it to be easy to do. And I just do that, I give you points just to incentivize you doing it early on so that we get a plan. Because it's, in class I can pass the sheet around, but it's a little harder sometimes digitally to get people to follow through. So it's signed up with plenty of slots for everyone, but if you all present individually, we may have several people presenting on the finals week. You'll notice some weeks only have one slot, some weeks have two. In general, I've balanced it so that weeks where, what am I thinking? Actually, I think I want to take away one of these because we're going to be talking about the movie draft. So what I've done is looked at how much content we have for each week, and if I think that we have enough time to have 2 live discussions if we want to, I'll put 2 slots, but on weeks where there's a lot more going on, I just have 1 slot. So please don't add or remove other date slots, just add your name, and then you have the choice. Everyone will post something in the discussion board just so that I'll probably make its own thread, its own forum near the top that people can just look back to throughout. But yeah, you'll post something just so that people know that it's there, or know where to find your materials. But it's up to you. You can do a discussion during class time. You could also record one if you want. But you do need to give people a chance to ask questions or clarify things or discuss things. So you can do it during class time, a video wouldn't work now that I think about it. So you can do it during class time, or you can do it fully through a discussion board, and that is up to you. All the dates listed are days that we meet in class, so you could do it in class if you want to, but just tell me what you want to do, so that way I can plan out the time. And then if we need to, we'll catch up everyone on our final exam period. So you pick an empirical peer-reviewed article, and you submit it, and I'll check to make sure that it is empirical and peer-reviewed. Empirical means that they're doing research. Peer-reviewed means that it was looked at by a group of other researchers who decided that it was rigorous enough and meaningful enough to be published. And again, I have videos. If you've been through writing and psych or other courses and feel comfortable, you can skip those. But I will include videos that talk about things like how to find an article and how to read an article. And if you need more help on articles, I have links to my writing and psych content that has a lot more information. But again, if you've watched these before, you don't have to watch them again. Only if you want the extra, if you want to brush up. You're going to submit article notes. So this is kind of just a form I have that helps you break down main points in the article and make sure that you really understand the different pieces. If you've done writing, once you've done the first one, the rest of them, it gets easier. So if you've had me before and done an article note, this should be fairly easy for you. If you haven't had me before and you do an article note, at least rest assured that when you get to writing in psych or have me again in something else, the article notes will be a pretty similar format and it'll be much easier to do this time. And then so about half your points total for the assignment comes from your article notes. There's a smaller amount just to put a little less pressure on your facilitation in the moment. So you're going to give a really brief summary of the article, and you can use information from your article notes and talk a little bit about kind of what you think about the article. And then I want you to have at least 2 discussion questions for your peers. And that's part of how people can earn credit for participating. So remember, if you're doing live participation, you need to be engaged at some point. This is a way your peers can get engagement. So please make it easy for them to interact. So you want to avoid questions that can be answered with just a yes, no, or that have a correct answer. You don't need to quiz them on anything. Instead, you want to ask questions that connect the article to class concepts or things that we've discussed before in class. You could also compare and contrast to previous students who have gone. So to say, this seems really similar to this other person's article, or, this actually kind of says the opposite of what someone else has said. Or that ask students, to say, how does this fit with previous things? Or you might say, do you think this contradicts this finding in a previous article? You also can ask questions, you want to think about things where students are going to be drawing from their own experiences or where different people might answer things differently. I am always very happy to think about issues of equity and generalizability. So is this true for all people? Who is it not true for? Who was left out of the sample? I think those are always important things to discuss. But also, your questions can just be things that sound fun to talk about. It might be about applying things, how might you use this in your life? Does this fit with what you've seen before? They don't have to be really detailed, really persnickety questions. Just as long as you're driving content, that makes me pretty happy. So you've got your article selection, article notes, and there's, let me make sure that this link still works. Yep, that's pretty good. So you'll come over here, and then what you want to do next is, you don't want to edit right in here because I don't know if you can. I might have taken away that ability. But you want to make a copy, and then it's going to pop up in your drive. And then you can edit everything. And you just delete my words and put in your words as you go. I think this one, I don't know if this one doesn't have a rubric yet. I will try to get it up fairly soon. Yeah, and the notes, it really just goes through each piece of the paper, whether each piece is there and does what it's supposed to do. And article selection is pretty straightforward. There is a rubric for it, but if you, essentially, if you lose points on any of this, you can just resubmit and get full points. Or the main thing is if the article doesn't work, then I'll ask you to look for another one. So that's the discussion facilitation. It's not meant, I call it different things in different places. I'll try to be more consistent with that. It's not meant to be, hugely challenging, and you can work with someone else if you would like to. But I want to make sure, especially because our book for this is a bit casual, it's really meant for a general audience. And it's a little short. It doesn't cover quite as many topics as I would like to. I had originally planned to add another book on this semester, but I had issues working with the publisher for the book I was most interested in. And then I decided that, with things being really chaotic this semester, I'm predicting it'll be chaotic. Maybe it'll be fine. But I wanted to prepare, and I figured it was better to have a little less reading and content and just dig deep into whatever we had. And to add on these articles is something to keep us thinking at a deeper level on a variety of topics throughout the semester. All right, take care. Bye-bye.